Everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name's Christina and today is going to be my Pan That Palette update for October for the Persona Identity palette, which I am working on all year. And we're just gonna go ahead and get into it. So as you guys know, we're trying to pan this whole thing this year. Definitely don't think it's gonna happen now that I only have 2 months left, but let me know down in the comments if you guys want me to roll this in next year as well, or should I just try to do another palette just to get more pan in my overall collection. I'm undecided right now. I would love to keep working on this one, but also I've dedicated so much time to this one this year that I'm like, oh, well, it'd be nice to do kind of the same thing next year with a different palette. So definitely let me know if y'all would be interested in seeing the same palette again, or if you would like to see a new one. Let's go ahead and get started. As you guys know, Humble, we finished really early. Sassy has a lot of progress this month, and I think it's because I've been using this bigger brush with Sassy, and I've been using it to highlight my chest and like my collarbone area, and it picks up a lot of product. It feels a little cheaty because it like disperses a lot of powder when I use this brush, but I like the way it applies onto the skin, so that's why I've been using this one. Sassy has a lot of progress, more than we've had in a really long time. I am still using it as an inner corner highlight on my eyes, basically anytime I do my makeup as well, so definitely seeing movement there, and I used it a ton. Next to that is Gold Digger. I did use that a few times this month. I especially liked using it over other shades and also with the NYX glitter primer. It looks really pretty and more foiled with the glitter primer, and there's still a dip in it, but nothing, I don't think it's moved too incredibly much. Next to that is Seductive, and I think I'm gonna repress this one after today's video, so this will be the final shot that you guys are getting of it with pan, but it's really hard for me to use it. This is one of my favorite, well, not even one of my favorite, this is probably my favorite shimmer shade in this palette. I love it. I'm wearing it today on my lid. And I did film a little bit of this eye look for you guys today to kind of show you how I'm using this palette. This eye look that I'm wearing, I've worn it a ton this past month. I really like it. I think it's appropriate for the season because it's a little darker and sultrier, and I used like a ton of shades in this one. Like I think it's 5 shadows in this one look, which is good. But yeah, Seductive is my favorite shimmer shade in this palette. And it's getting really hard to use because it's just on the edge, and I typically use like a flat brush with it. So I'm gonna repress it. After that, I will probably go more quickly. Unfortunately, fortunately, that will be that. But yeah, it's too difficult to use at where it is right now, so I need to repress it. Moving on to the second row, we have, the first one is Charming, and I think it has expanded finally a little bit. I use this basically every time I do my eyeshadows, just a little bit at least. I'm really trying, but these mid-tone browns, you guys and me all talked about it in the comments last time about how difficult mid-tone browns are to actually use up, but it is moving, it is getting there. You can see slight movement, it's slowly getting bigger. Again, used it today. Next to that is Maverick. I think Maverick finally moved just a little tiny bit, not too incredibly much. I am using that one today as well, and again, I will be showing you guys this eye look. I haven't used it as like a crease shade as much, but I do love it as like an outer V deepening shade. It's just really pretty, and like a lower lash line color because it makes my blue eyes really pop. My eyes, I think because I'm a cool tone and my eyes are really light, that like these cool tones, like the Maverick and Seductive, are like my 2 favorite shades to use on my eye color because it just makes them really poppy. I use that one a lot on my lower lash line. It's on my lower lash line today, and I really like it. Bombshell and Goddess are the next one. There's no visible progress really in these. There's a little bit of tiny itty bitty dips starting these. I did actually end up using them this past month. I think I was actually successful in using every single shade this past month, which is like a first for me. And I feel really proud that I was actually able to do that, but no visible progress on those, maybe slight little tiny dips started. On the bottom row, we have Audacious, which I did end up using Audacious a lot. Like, I was surprised. There is still just a slight dip started in that one because I guess I don't use that much of it. I'm not very heavy-handed with my eyeshadows normally. I try not to be. I just don't like how it looks on me personally. So I am a little lighter handed, so that might be why, but I did end up using Audacious a lot. I really liked like the goldeny cranberry looks this past month, and I foresee this one getting used a lot more going forward as well. Next to that is Chic, and I did use this a few times as well. Cranberries and purples were just looks I was really liking to do. This is probably my least favorite shade in the palette though. I just don't think it blends as well as the other ones, and I think it always comes off a little grungy, but not in like a grungy that I wanted. Like, I don't want it to be grungy. So Chic is definitely my least favorite shade in this palette. I could still use it obviously because there's pan in it, but yeah, it's not my favorite. Next to that is Bossy, and in my last video I was saying I didn't know how to use it. I'm wearing Bossy today, and again, I've done this eye look a ton, so I have figured out how to use it. It doesn't really look like I've used much. I don't even see like a dip starting yet, but I did end up using this at least a dozen, maybe not a dozen times, a handful of times. I mean, I would say probably like 8 times I used this shade. So I finally have touched it. I like it on the outer V a lot and buffed into the center, which is how I used it today. For today's eye look, like I said, I used Charming in my crease, and then I took Maverick on a smaller blending brush and put it on the outer V and blended it upwards to create like a V shape. After that, I took Bossy and I buffed it into Maverick towards the center of my lid, topped it with Seductive, and then put Sassy in my inner corner. And then I took Maverick and Bossy on my lower lash line, and that's how I did today's eye look. So like I said, I used a ton of shades, and then of course I used Charming around my brow area as well to give me a little bit more definition around my eyebrows and like elongate my nose a little bit. So I used 5 shades in today's look. Oh, and then I also took Fearless and buffed it into my liquid liner because my liquid liner was still runny. The NYX Epic Liner is messing with me lately, but then I used that, so 6 shades. I used a lot of shades in today's eye look, but yep, Bossy I ended up using a lot. This look was repeated many times. And then the last one is Fearless, and I think Fearless actually has some movement this time too. Maybe not as much as I'm thinking, but I feel like this pan has definitely gotten bigger since our last update. I basically use this as a liner almost every day. I've been really gravitating towards brown liners, and I've been liking powder as a liner just because it's a little bit more forgiving, and it, for whatever reason, doesn't irritate my eyes as much as liquid liners have been lately. I'm starting to think I'm allergic to something in most liquid liners because my eye is watering right now because I try to use a liquid liner, but I went over it with this to kind of help. I think overall, I definitely have expanded most of these pans now, maybe not as much as I would have liked, but a lot more than I was really thinking they would. So I'm proud of this month's progress. I still think that Sassy and Seductive will definitely be the next 2 to go, especially after I reset or repress Seductive, which I will take pictures after I repress it tonight. That way we have them going forward. But Sassy, I think, will also be really, really close by next update if I keep using it as a body highlight. And then I'm really, really hoping I can at least get closer with Gold Digger as well to get pan in it, because it has, out of all the other shimmers in the palette, Gold Digger has the biggest one next to Seductive, obviously. So I think Gold Digger can definitely be the next one that has pan, which is what I'm going to aim for. And then everything else I'm going to keep trying to expand over the next month. We're getting very close to the end of the year, so I'm just hoping that I feel satisfied with my progress. I mean, comparing this to what it looked like at the beginning of the year, I feel like I'm doing okay. Like, I feel like there has been a lot more motion than I thought. Like, we had pan at the beginning of the year, but no like empty pans. So just having one empty pan also like feels really good. And then I have to take into account I didn't wear makeup for a while this year, so there's that. But yeah guys, thank you so much for watching. Again, let me know down in the comments if you would like to see me use this palette again next year, or if I should try to do the same thing with something else in my collection to spread the love, so to speak. But let me know what your thoughts are. I hope all of you are doing well. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Also make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell notifications in case you haven't done that yet. And remember, there is always magic to be found, and I hope that means I see all of you in my next video. Bye!
Alright, ooh baby, just hold tight. We're up the moonlight, believe in the magic. On side, we'll make it feel just right. Just look at that bright light, believe in the magic.